Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live this evening in UFRL, and this is the Tier 2 opener for Season 9, and this is the 18-minute qualifying session followed by the 50% Grand Prix. Tonight is held at Monza then, and 19 drivers are in contention for pole position, but who will end up coming away with things then? The Constructors' Champions of last season, Mercedes, line up with their team principal William, alongside Rotti 97, a new driver for this season. Visa RB, Boy Knockout will be driving for them, and tonight he is alongside Mr. Potwash. Can Mr. Potwash continue his fine form from the end of Season 8, where he did pick up a couple of solid top 5, top 6 finishes during those events, so he'll be hopeful. Whilst Boy Knockout could very well be a title contender. Good evening and a chat to both Deck and to Coffee. Hope you're both doing well and hope you're both excited for this Grand Prix. We'll give you a driver to watch out for. We'll go on board with EM to kick things off. But yes, next team we'll go, who finished third? I think, well, Aston Martin was certainly one of those up there. But Alpine line up with Gandalf and Destroyer Jack. That will be an extremely strong combination here in Tier 2. Both of those are very much possible title contenders. We got Kick Sauber, Silky Stevens and Jack. Again, two strong drivers there. Hassa, Viking Fox alongside Woody. Williams, Warner. I'm not skipping over them, I'm trying to get through it quickly. But again, most of the combinations here are very quick. In the Williams, you've got Warner and Salty Stevens. The Ferrari is EM and Angry Badger. McLaren, DD Friend tonight, alongside Epic Frenchy. DD Friend promoted from Tier 3. We've gone through Mercedes, gone through Haas, gone through Williams. Red Bull, ARC Mickey is the lone Red Bull tonight, so they're going to be losing out on some points, it seems. But ARC Mickey, again, very much a proven title contender, and of course has 2 championships to his name. Tier 2 in Season 3 and Tier 1 in Season 4. Mr. Potwash in the V car, we've gone through that. And I think every other team we have gone through, apart from the Aston Martin. Dutch Beast alongside Iceman 86. And those are your full combinations for the season ahead. I want to see Rotti, Pricey Boy that, but up the kick, says Deck. Hello Viva, says Ziggy. Yes, hello indeed to yourself, Ziggy. Let's see how things go though. So EM just running out into Sector 3 at this moment in time. The Ferrari will, of course, go quickest, but how quick will he go? Heading out of the Parabolica and then through in turn 11, and now racing to the line, EM69. Where can he push? Here's Ferrari, it's a 120.5, and now we'll see if drivers can very much beat that. First one to come through will be Warner, who does beat it at 120.1. Very quick in Tier 3 when he did race last season, and also looked quick during his a couple of occasions in Tier 2. Jack also on a hot lap, and he does go purple through the middle sector as well. Then you've got the Alpines, I do believe, is it? Can't quite get to them actually, they must just be on an outlap. And then you've got Viking Fox here just coming up to the line, and it is only a 121.4, ARC Mickey 22.9. But those two seem to have just got trapped between each other there, because they are literally neck and neck as they do start their laps again. As Woody also begins his lap, Mr. Potwash still there, but let's drop down to the Kick Saubers, and Jack has invalidated, so he will have to run again. What about Silky Stevens? Of course, both Stevens are brothers, Silky and Salty. One in the Kick, one in the Williams. But what can the Kick do? Silky Stevens then, up to the line. It's quickest. It's a 119.9 for Silky. We've broken the 120 trap. Gandalf also on a lap, back-to-back Tier 2 runner-up. As an improvement set, Mr. Potwash goes 5th fastest, 22.2 for him. But what can Gandalf do? 53.1 through the middle sector, and he'll be hopeful to push on. Dutch Beast kickstarts his opening lap as well, and Woody also heading into the final sector, 52.9 for him. Boy Knockout seems to be struggling with connection issues at this moment in time, but it is still Silky and Warner, your top 2. But for how much longer? Because Gandalf coming up to the line, burning all of his battery. It's a 1:20.0, and it's P2 for Gandalf. Destroyer Jack also starting his lap. What about Dutch Beast? And what about Woody as he comes out of Parabolica now and will land his place to the line, but he's not using any battery and in fact heads back into the pit. DD Friend working with his teammate Epic Frenchie. And there's a lovely slipstream all the way to turn 1, which we'll see now. Is DD Friend going to move away though, or is he? Yeah, he is. There you go. That's how you sort of do it. A little bit wider, however, a little bit deep from Epic Frenchie. Would have compromised him slightly out of turns 1 and 2, but either way, that slipstream would have gained him some crucial lap time. Let's head back up towards EM. His teammate Angry Badger just go through. Badger goes P5, and EM, is he going to improve? Yes, he does. It's P2 for EM. A 1:20.005. Great effort from him. Meanwhile, Dutch Beast goes 5th fastest, 1:20.8. But that top 4 separated by very little margins. But Destroyer Drac, a 1:19.5. Absolutely rampant in the Alpine. And he is now the immediate man to beat. Epic Frenchman into the final sector. Yes, and that's how quick the lap goes by. DD Friend obviously just behind him. Willie Fernandez out for the first time. Now we've got to see what ARC Mickey can do. Certainly can be a contender, but a 1:20.6. It's only P6 for ARC Mickey. A little bit further down where he would have hoped to be in this qualifying session. Oh, lost the back pedal in the wall, says Woody. Up the kick, says Black Panther. As Silky Stevens dropped to P2 and Jack on an outlap. Is Jack LeWan just starting a lap? Yes, he is. Of course, don't forget, he did invalidate his first run, so this is effectively his new first run, although you could argue it's also a second run. Is it with a used set of tyres? I think that is the likely scenario. A little bit overcast on track as well, so if we have any rain, I do wonder. But at the moment, no suggestions we do. Willie Fernandez, and what can he do? In the Mercedes, he's just ahead of his teammate Rotti. William to the line. He goes P9, a 1:20.9. But now we'll see the slipstream with Rotti. Not really much. William, I think he felt he didn't have enough battery there to really give the slipstream. And in the end, maybe, was Rotti as invalidated, cutting the corner through turns 1 and 2. And therefore, we'll just have to go into no battery and let William know that he basically has messed up the opening lap. So yes, Rotti will need to go again. Boy Knockout starts his first lap as well, all the way into turn 1. We're still waiting on DD Friend to set an improvement, which he is now going quicker as well. ARC Mickey heads into the pits for the Red Bull. Let's see DD Friend then up to the line. Tier 3 last season, well, it's a 1:20.6. A great effort by DD Friend. He's into the top 6, really strong. As Willie Fernandez, currently in P10, does drop down. But Jack P13, 1:21.6. Not as quick as what you'd expect from the Kick Sauber, where he, at this very track, he did do well last season through the back end. So he'll be hoping to, well, I say he did well. He looked quick until sort of safety cars and strategic errors came into play. Boy Knockout is on a lap. Rotti just about to start another run as well, where on this occasion he can get the slipstream all the way to turn 1. So William at least is providing him with that. Burning all of his battery, and now will Woody go straight on? Yes, he does. Interesting strategy there, but obviously once you give the first slipstream, you should basically then decide that's it. You shouldn't give the second slipstream. Boy Knockout up to the line. It's a 1:20.1 for Boy Knockout. So again, that top 6 now. Very, very quick with Destroyer Jack landing the punch to it as William still invalidated, of course. Woody has just started his lap as well. Salty Stevens, not really seen him much yet. And Rotti as well. So just the 3 drivers yet to set their first lap time. Really got to get the battery right for this track, says Deck. Yes, indeed. Make sure you don't run out of your deploy all the way to the line. Let's see then Salty Stevens for that first attempt. Low on his battery, barely at 10%, but he does sort of recover a little bit, of course, through the Parabolica. but it's going to be low again, well below the 10% mark, and Salty Stevens to the line. It's a 1:21.0. You do feel perhaps Salty could, if he was a little bit stronger with that battery management on that qualifying lap, could maybe have gone a little bit quicker as well. You don't really want to go below 10% on the battery, otherwise you're going to be at a slower pace than usual. Willie Fernandez does enter the pits then. We'll head up towards the Alpine of Gandalf on a second run here, but is he going to go quicker? No, he's not. Into the pits he goes. Still on that 1:20.047, so he'll be happy with P4 in qualifying. And obviously, again, he'll be hoping it will be third time lucky for Gandalf this season. But Viking Fox, though, goes P2. It's a 19.8, so just a third driver to set a sub 1:20. Dutch Beast starts his lap. Still got Woody to come. Got Mr. Potwash as well coming along. And there are improvements still being set out on track, where Warrener now is still there, up into the top 7 now because of that improvement from Viking Fox. ARC Mickey still down in P9. But there is about half a second between P7 to P8, where DD Friend currently occupies that 8th place. So he's done a tremendous job through the early stages of qualifying here. Just keep watch of ARC Mickey. We'll drop down to the V-Carbs maybe, where you've got Mr. Potwash just coming up to the line, starting another lap, but it's a 1:22.0 for him. And then you've got the Mercedes, where you've not got William, and that'll be Rotti then. And Rotti entering the pits, still only on a 1:21.2, Rotti. So I think Mercedes will be hoping to get a little bit more out of their driver. But then again, he is new to the league, so I'm sure he'll try to improve as the weeks go by. Oh, is Rotti the only new one actually in Tier 2? But technically yes, because we have had Dutch Beast before. Speaking of improvements there, Angry Badger goes 8th fastest, 1:20.163. So all of that top 8 now, very strong. And the times will keep improving. Dutch Beast up the order, up to P2, 1:19.6. And an improvement from Warrener comes through, 1:19.7. The times are certainly getting quicker here in qualifying. What about EM? He has invalidated Boy Knockout on an outlap. So he will look forward to starting another run. And Silky Stevens in the pits. Jack still there. What about Mr. Potwash then? Let's go back towards him, but he is in no battery. So yes, Jack will be amongst those about to start another run. Destroyer Jack remains in the pits, but his teammate on the other hand, Gandalf, is also about to start another run. 5 minutes to go in qualifying. Who can land pole position? It looks good for Drac, but after those times from the likes of Beast, Warrener, Viking as well, I think Destroyer Jack will certainly go again and try to settle that pole position. Who will take it here at Monza? Jack then starts his lap all the way to turn 1. But we may just hover towards, let's see the McLaren, Epic Frenchie. Yes, Epic Frenchie will be next, but he's not actually using any battery. So, in fact, I was incorrect. And Dutch Beast will be after him. So he obviously won't be on a lap, having just improved. Then it'll be Warrener. And then it will be Boy Knockout. So, yes, pretty much everybody. I mean, there's William just on an outlap as well. Then you got Jack. So let's go towards... Never mind. We were going to go towards Jack. He was actually improving by 3/10 through the first sector. But we'll go away and we'll have a look towards Gandalf then. Improving by 2/10 through the first sector. So he's certainly on odds on for a sub 1:20. But can it close in on Destroyer Jack, his own teammate, of course, as he'll use the battery and burn it all through into the Ascari chicane. Keep wasting too much battery at the start of laps, shooting themselves in the foot, says Deck. Indeed, again, yes. As Gandalf there just show middle sector as purple. But let's see where Gandalf can go compared to his teammate. Will it be an Alpine 1 and 2? Again, there are strong combinations in Tier 2 this season for sure. Alpine very much being one of those. For Destroyer Jack and Gandalf, they may even be the strongest. But let's see, Gandalf to the line. It's a 1-2 for Alpine as things stands. A 1:19.599. However, that may be the final lap Gandalf can do unless he has enough fuel to go again, because he won't be able to get into the pits and go back out on track with a limited time remaining. Just 3 minutes to go. Rotti starting another lap. Can he get it right? No, as he has aborted mission. Willie Fernandez is improving through the first sector, up by just under a tenth of a second. What can he do into the middle sector, however? And then we'll look up towards Boy Knockout. He is improving by 2/10. Let's now go towards Boy Knockout, out of Parabolica, and now to the line. Boy Knockout, can he contest for pole? It's P8, it's a 1:20.1 for... Oh no, he didn't actually improve that lap, rather. I was there thinking to myself, hang on, that's not right. Yeah, Boy Knockout does remain P8, but he is going to go now. Silky Stevens, meanwhile, is improving by just over 1.5 tenths through the first sector of the lap time. Yellow flags through the second sector. That'll be for one of the Aston Martins, where you've got Iceman and Dutch Beast going to work together to try and get the best lap possible here. But the Alpines 1 and 2, it's looking strong for them. Thank you for the raid from Tajani. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to this Tier 2 race, the opener here at Monza. Silky Stevenson out of the Ascari chicane. Where can he push that kick Sauber? His teammate Jack yet to really get a strong lap together. Only down a P17, but again, he's on an outlap. Mr. Potwash and Woody yet to see a lap from him. Woody, is he going to start P19 or, well, he is just going out now. Both Hassard together, but here comes Silky to the line. It's an improvement. It's P4 for Silky Stevens, a 1:19.719, as the drivers are now going to head out on circuit for their final laps tonight. The two Aston Martins are running together. Dutch Beast ahead of Iceman 86, and Dutch Beast with a slight look up into turns 1 and 2, and also a little bit onto the curb at turn 2, but looks okay to assist his teammate, and Iceman goes straight on. So Dutch Beast, well, he will have enough time to get to the line and start one final run, so it's not looking too bad for him. Let's go back down the order, shall we? Jack starting a lap. Rotti has had a few struggles in this qualifying session on his debut, not gaining any time at this moment in time either. Epic Frenchie, what about him into sector 1? It's a slight improvement. Couldn't really improve any less than that. ARC Mickey still down in P12. He's been dropping down this qualifying session, but he will get his final run to kickstart now. Let's see Warner as well. He'll be starting his run out of turns 1 and 2, currently on with a 1:19.754, with Silky just ahead of him. And Silky Stevens looks like he's got enough to go for one final run. When will the checkered flags be out? We've got 14 seconds. So the final few cars can go through. The kick, the two Haas will also get by, and also the Aston Martins. Iceman 86 then, it's P13 for him, 1:20.7, no improvement, but he is ahead of his teammate Dutch Beast, who can start the final run. Gandalf, checkered flags out for him, it's P2, but will it be an Alpine 1 and 2 here in qualifying? Epic Frenchie to the line, will he improve? He stays P14, now to the V-Carbs, where there is looking like an improvement from Mr. Potwash, but all out of trouble is Boy Knockout, because he will head into the pit, invalidating and out of fuel. Silky Stevenson, we're still waiting on him. What about Jack then to the line? He goes. Jack's up to P9, a 1:20.027. Good effort from him. Warner invalidates his run and remains P6, but improved by 4/10. And that improvement would have been pole position from Warner. It would have been pole. Salty, his teammate, drops into P7. Viking Fox still about to come through. Drac does not improve. He stays in P1. It is so close between the top two, 7 thousandths of a second, separating Destroyer Jack from Gandalf. But what can the likes of Viking Fox do? You've still got Boy Knockout as well, who has, well, I say you've still got him. Dutch Beast, I mean, is still going to be one of the next drivers. But what about Viking Fox? Can he contest? He takes pole! Viking Fox, 19.4! A Beast is not improving! And Viking Fox is on pole position with a splendid lap at the death here at Monza. Absolutely sublime from Viking. The two Alpines are beaten by the trap of Viking Fox. Absolutely wonderful from him. And he will be on pole for the first race of the season. That is Viking Fox. Excellent work. Superbly done at the end there. And the two Alpines, they'll be devastated about that. P2 for Jack, P3 for Gandalf. I mean, they have given themselves a strong chance, but the strongest chance may very well go to Viking Fox at the moment. But at least the Alpines can work together Likewise with, say, Williams, P7 and P8 for Warner and Salty Steven. So these sort of teams who have drivers close together can try and work together at the very least. In terms of who will be disappointed with their qualifying set, I think Mercedes, P13, Woody Fernandez, P18 for Rotti. Aston Martin's done okay. I mean, P4 for Beast, P16 for Iceman 86. Iceman 86 was never really a true qualifying specialist anyway. But Beast up there in P4, we'll see what he can do on his return to UFRL. Come on, Mickey, says James, and hello, says Tajani. Just looking through the TikTok chat. Thank you to Lewis. ARC Mickey, let's go. Wait, what is this? This is F124. And this is the Italian Grand Prix. Qualifying just commenced then. Viking Fox on pole from Destroyer Draken. Gandalf in P3. He'll start alongside Dutch Beast. Boy Knockout on the third row alongside Silky. From Warrener, Salty, EM and Jack on the fifth row. And you've got Badger, Woody, William, DD Friend, Mickey, Iceman 86, Epic Frenchie, Rotti, and last of all, Mr. Potwash starts in P19. Right then, for UFRL, we have a 5-minute break before we do begin the full Grand Prix. So therefore, I'll be with you. Oh, and we have got rain! There you go. The rain we saw from Austria has arrived here at Monza. Back-to-back races with rain here in UFRL. Tier 1 last night was absolutely powering it down. Should we have a double check of what tyres everyone's on at the moment? It looks like full wet as well. Full wet for Tier 1 last night, full wet for Tier 2 tonight. That is what we've got on show for you. I'll be back in a few minutes' time. Right then, and we are back, and we are moments away from starting this Italian Grand Prix. A reminder, this is the Tier 2 opener. Wednesday night tomorrow will be the Tier 3 opener. The 100% tier, I'll be back on comms for the 100% tier on Friday night. That'll be 8 o'clock PM as well. And Saturday night, international tier, a mixed tier race. And that'll be 9 o'clock PM on Saturday evening. So that is the week ahead. And of course, back to normal next week with Monday being tier 1 from 8 o'clock PM. But let's see what can do here for this Italian Grand Prix. Drivers would have been told to ready up. Thank you to Mr. P for the Douglas moment. A bit of a nibble moment, you might say, even. But here we go. We've got the lights on. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go. And it's the Alpine at the front of the field who has got away strongly. They're all struggling with the traction, but it is Destroyer Jack who leads into turn 1. But Dart Beast has made his way up. A little bit of contact with a few drivers who have headed off track. But it is Dart Beast who has lost out. Jack with a little slipstream, or little slip rather, and now going battling at the front of the field. Silky Stevens is through. Silky out of nowhere leads the Italian Grand Prix. And now side by side, Gandalf with Viking Fox. Jack into the top 4, and we have a virtual safety car. But it is a fantastic start from Silky Stevens. The position changes. Oh my goodness, have you ever had such a frantic getaway? Look at the position changes there. Silky Stevens up 5 from P6 on the grid. Gandalf up 1. Vikings drop 2, the pole sitter. Jack is up 6 places into the top 4. Track down 3. Salty up 2. Frenchie has gone up 10 positions from P17 to P7. What a start by Epic Frenchie. Unfortunately, not the starts that the likes of Dutch Beast, Woody and Warner and Boy Knockout would have wanted. Those all dropping 4, 7 and 13 places apiece. But Silky Stevens, Jack, Epic Frenchie, DD Fred as well, and Mr. Potwash even, all having strong starts in this Grand Prix. But now we kickstart again all the way through into the Parabolica, and it will be Silky leading, but side by side come through Viking Fox and Jack looking for another place here. He's going to go round the outside of the pole sitter, and has Jack got the spot still going, and they will run all the way to turn 1. Silky fast snap, but he loses out to Gandalf. Those two going side by side now. Gandalf v Silky, Viking v Jack. The two kick samples and this. A little bit of contact there between Gandalf and Silky. And Jack has got his way through, but Jack's gone off track. And Jack will lose out to Viking Fox. And it's going to be under pressure here from Destroyer Jack as well. Such treacherous conditions. And it looks like Destroyer Jack may very well just make this move on Jack here. Does he go down the inside? He will have the move done. Surely it's a turn 4, and they do go for it, but he loses out in the end. And Salty Stevens now is the one having a look. Let's go towards Viking Fox. Meanwhile, he had a look on the inside of Silky, but Gandalf is beginning to put away at almost 1 second. Gandalf, Silky, Viking, Jack and Drac all in the top 5 here in the early stage of this Italian Grand Prix. And we'll drop it down again to Salty Stevens now in the slipstream of Destroyer Jack. Epic Frenchie still there in P7. Again, what a tremendous start to the Grand Prix from the McLaren. But Salty Stevens, you can see, looks a little bit more confident. Land Destroyer Jack through the early stage of the Ascavi chicane, and he's going for the move around the outside. He has greater traction, and he does land the overtake. Can Jack stick with him? No, he cannot. Salty up into the top 5. Further back, a bit of a battle where Epic Frenchie now has been overtaken by EM, so finally losing a place, but he seems to have got it back. EM has had a slip out of the Parabolica and loses out to Epic French. Just go up the field to Viking Fox now. He looks for the move on the inside of Silky Stevens. Has he got it done finally or not? They're side by side through to turns 1 and 2. Little bit of contact between the kick and the Haas. And can Jack even make it? Jack's coming in with the moves. Jack has got the double, has he? Yes, he has. A bit of contact between the pairing, and Jack makes a double complete. But Viking now wants to have a go round the outside on Silky. Silky defends a place, and the kick samples are 2 and 3. Gandalf continues to race away here in the lead of the Grand Prix, but Jack up into P2. What a start by him. Up 8 places. Epic Frenchie as well. He's now up 11. He overtook Destroyer Jack during that run and Boy Knockout as well. So Epic Frenchie is really impressing in this Grand Prix. He did lose out to EM, don't forget, and then all of a sudden he got him straight back and he's taken Jack with him. Let's head back towards Viking Fox. We're actually going to drop towards Potwash and DD Friend going side by side, and it looks like Mr. Potwash goes round the outside of DD and is up into P14 now. So of course every driver, by the way, if you finish the Grand Prix you will take points. A bit of a wide line there by Mr. Potwash, that could allow for Rotti, and Rotti had a look but he goes slightly off track himself. So yeah, a lot of drivers struggling here. Dutch Beast and Woody meanwhile both have entered the pits. Let's have a look at that. Stops there, and they are all on the full wet tyres, as you'd expect with the conditions as they are. So Viking Fox having a look on the inside of Silky Stevens, wants to repass the kick Sauber, of course, having just lost out to both of the kicks just a moment ago. A little bit deep there goes Silky Stevens. Can Viking Fox get onto the traction? Not quite. And they will all settle for 2, 3 and 4. Salty in 5th. Frenchie up into P6 as well. And then you got Destroyer Jack with Boy Knockout down into P7 and P8 though. Destroyer Jack will be hoping to have the conditions improve through the race, because he's not having a great Grand Prix in these tricky conditions, is he? Woody 1:32.9 for the new fast lap of the Grand Prix, Woody. I'm actually going to go down towards him because he is making a move on Dutch Beast, is he? Down he is under to turn 1, they go side by side, and Woody has got the move done, is up into P18, goes a little bit wide, and losing the traction, side by side they'll go now, but Dutch Beast has the overspeed, and Dutch Beast takes the place straight back, and back into P18 he goes. Woody just losing out there. Let's go back up the field towards EM, battling here, down he inside to Boy Knockout, and he does get the move done. It looks like an excellent move. Was it a move from too far back? Well, it looks okay from what we saw. We only saw a split second of it, but EM now up into the top 8, and he has Destroyer Jack for company ahead of him. And again, you see just how much they're struggling into the Parabolica there, Destroyer Jack in particular. Need to sort of regain time on the exit, as you've got William and Angry Badger now. Angry Badger looking a little bit feisty to get a move done on the Mercedes. This is a 4th place in the top 10 as well. We're going to drop further back because Rotti and DD Friend side by side as well, as Woody and Dutch Beast still there. But now can DD Friend make the move on Rotti? They are still side by side into turns 1 and 2. And it is DD Friend getting the move, but he goes a bit deep. And that allows for Rotti to come straight back through. And Rotti finally makes his way up into the top 15 again, making a pass on the McLaren. Let's go back up towards Wavener. He looks around the outside, but gets onto the grass in the attack onto Angry Badger and has to take the off-road, and he will lose out to ARC Mickey in the process. Mickey, by the way, only gaining a few places into the top 12. He didn't improve through the latter stages of qualifying either. So it's only P12 for a potential championship contender, ARC Mickey. Boy Knockout, meanwhile, overtaking EM, making up into the top 8. What about Willie Fernandez? Fernandez goes through on the inside, is up into the top 9 now. So it is the 2 are through, and now EM cuts the corner, and this could be a bit of trouble for him, and it will be a bit of trouble because Wavener's going to go for it now, side by side with ARC Mickey, but it certainly was a cut of the corner from EM, maybe an unsafe rejoin, although in these conditions it's very tricky to rejoin sometimes in a safe manner. But let's see here with ARC Mickey battling it out with Wavener, still side by side, but ARC Mickey does get the move done, and Destroyer Jack is into the pits. Does he have any damage, or is he just going to go for a hopeful run on the intermediates? Let's see what he does. He's on to the inters, so the first driver to go for the intermediate conditions. And there you go. We're going to go to the tyre situation because I think that's the only thing we can go with right now. Let's go then with Wavener again. Can he get back through on ARC Mickey or not? This is again for the top 10, but don't forget Destroyer Jack was ahead of these two just about, as Wavener backs off from an overtake on ARC Mickey. So Destroyer Jack does get out of the pits quite far ahead of the likes of Woody and Dutch Beast as well. Don't forget those two had to pit for the full wets earlier in the race, and a little bit of a struggle there on the traction zone for ARC Mickey, so Warner will continue to have a look at him. Meanwhile, Jack and Silky Stevens are closing the gap now to Gandalf. The gap just 1.4, 1.3, 1.2 seconds, and Jack's continuing to gain here. Barely a second behind Gandalf now, so Jack and Silky Stevens, those two in the Kick Sauber, do look very quick. And we may very well be going to them very soon here in this race if they continue with their improvements. And as you can see, Jack has got it down to less than a second. Gandalf's into the pits. So Gandalf deciding maybe it could be ready for the Inters as well. Both Alpines are in. So Destroyer Jack obviously pitted the lap earlier. And also joining them is Willie Fernandez and Warner. Rotti with a 10-second time penalty. But he is also in. ZD Fretner's in. Iceman 86 is also in. So a host of drivers believing it is now ready for the intermediate tyres. Let's head back up the field towards Salty Stevens then. Behind Viking Fox at this moment in time. But look at that top four now, getting close. Woody, 10-second time penalty. And he will go for the Inters, as will Dutch Beast. But those two are going to be a long way back from the rest of the grid. Meanwhile, the Alpines currently are P11 and P12 for Gandalf and Drac. And Drac is a few seconds ahead of Willie Fernandez and Warner in the process. But let's see then, where will these top four come out? Do they all pit? Don't forget, one of them's going to be in a bit of trouble if they want to pit now. If they both want to pit now, surely they can't. Only one of them can. And if Jack pits, Silky really has to stay out. I mean, obviously he's getting a slipstream right now, but once Jack pits, that could be a bit of a trouble for Silky Stevens. We're going to find out, does Jack pit or not? It looks like he might be. Yes, he is. So Jack's in, and Silky Stevens stays out. And Jack receives a 10-second time penalty from the lead of the Grand Prix, or well, P2 behind Gandalf. Jack has a 10-second time penalty here at the Italian Grand Prix. Got to make sure you're slow enough into the pits then. But he is going for a fresh set of the intermediate tyres. Obviously with those 10-second penalties, if there is a safety car, for example, or another change in conditions, you can pit and you would serve that 10-second time penalty there and then. Destroyer Jack fast lap 1:31.6. It is intermediate conditions then. That is pretty much certain. And Jack is ahead of Epic Frenchie now into the top 10. He's actually only got 3 drivers ahead of him who have pitted for the Inters. Well, that means he's actually potentially net P5 or even net P4 depending on Silky Stevens. So that pit stop by Destroyer Jack was perfect timing. EM and ARC Mickey, a little bit of contact there. EM just swerving slightly into Mickey. Nothing major doing, but now EM is going to burn the battery. Dutch Beast, 10-second time penalty. But Mickey on the inside, EM flying round the outside. Does EM take the place? Yes, he does, into the Ascari chicane. And EM is up into the top 4 now. DD Thrend with a 3-second time penalty down in P16. But again, once these full wet tyres are coming to be back in, as I do mention that Viking Fox is actually back onto another set of full wets. Interesting strategy by Viking Fox there, not to go for Inters, but to go for full wet. I think he made a mistake there. Angry Badger 10-second time penalty as well. A few drivers certainly getting those 10 seconds. Will Viking Fox stay out now? Or is he going to just decide to keep going with those tyres? He's going to keep going. Maybe Viking Fox hoping for a safety car, but he is sort of in the mud. Destroyer Jack is going quickest, but Warner 29.5. The new quickest driver on track is Warner in... where is Warner at the moment? In fact, he is down at P9. 2 laps on his Inters. But starting to get a little bit more balance now. ARC Mickey and Viking Fox, the 2 drivers only on the full wets now. As a move being made there where William Badger, you got Mr. Potwash ahead of EM. A bit of a close battle here with Rotti just behind as well. Rotti was within 2/10, but it's just starting to drop back a little bit to EM. But in the meantime, yeah, those full wet tyres for ARC Mickey and Viking Fox. How long will they last for? probably not particularly long, as EM really trying to slide his way through into the chicane down to turns 4 and 5, and that could give Rotti another opportunity here. Maybe just seeing EM going a little bit too fast into the corners and not particularly great with the traction on the exit. But here comes Rotti then. Again, EM just running a little bit wide, left of the curb. But Rotti now, is he close enough to make a move? It does not look like it, and he will just have to stay in behind. Although he's getting very, very close. We are going to go up the field, though, because now Salty Stevens is going for the move on Viking Fox. Don't forget, Viking is still on the full wet, and that means that Salty Stevens gets the move done. Viking Fox must be so frustrated with the early events here, because he has clearly gone for the wrong tyre for the extra full wet. 129.4 now for Warner, who continues to look like the quickest driver on track, and he now makes a move on Epic Frenchie, and Warner is up into P8 now. Quickest driver on track, Warner, at this moment in the race. As we go towards Rotti, having another look on the inside of EM. Down the inside he goes to turn 1. Has he got the move done? Is he got a bit too deep? It looks like he's got it, but EM on the exit gets it done. And EM reverses the trick and is back into P14. Rotti not under pressure, however, from DD Friend. If DD had got a strong exit, he may have had a chance. Let's go towards Viking Fox then. Viking Fox now behind Destroyer Drac. So Drac has also made the move on the lingering Haas, who has just fallen adrift of both Salty and Drac, and may be about to be a culprit for Warner, who is really making some moves in this Grand Prix so far. And in terms of further down, he's still got Angry Badger hoping to get through on Willie Fernandez. That is over P11 and P12. We may just quickly drop back towards that. Or I may even go back to Rotti here, because he's battling with DD Friend now. Within a couple of tenths, as DD Friend goes a little bit deep into the Ascari chicane. Angry Badger does get through on William, but here comes DD Friend. Is he going to finally get the move? Silky Stevens 29.2. So Silky Stevens is the quickest driver on track. But once again, Warner takes it back at 28.9. Warner continues to prove himself as the quickest driver on track at this moment in time. DD Friend, has he got enough in him to make the move on Rotti? He's going to go round the outside. Rotti trying to defend it. A bit of contact between the pairing. But DD Friend has just about got it done. And Rotti has to drop in behind there. So DD Friend up into P15. Further up the field now, Warner has got through at he. Yes, he has. Down the inside on Viking Fox. And rising up into the top 7 now. The quickest on track. Continues to strive for success. Can Warner be an outside chance of the title? Viking has choked it. Oh dear, it's ace deck. Yeah, on those full wets, certainly not ideal for him, and he's going to be under pressure here now from Epic Frenchie. Rotti and DD Friend continue their battle over P15 and P16. But let's just see here if Epic Frenchie wants to have a go at Viking Fox, potentially on the exit of Ascari. Can he get the exit he needs? It's quite even, which really does mean it's possibly, I would have said it's an advantage for Viking, but Epic Frenchie now has the overspeed to go round the outside on Viking Fox. Has he got the move done? It looks like he has, and yes, he does. So Epic Frenchie goes all the way round the outside, but Viking takes it back. Frenchie's just gone a little bit too wide, and now into the pits goes ARC Mickey for the intermediates rather. But here comes Epic Frenchie again. Round the outside on Viking Fox into turn 1. They will go side by side into turns 1 and 2. But who will have the place? It looks like Viking Fox does have it. And yes, he does. Viking holds on to P7. Then it's Epic Frenchie, and then it's Boy Knockout. Warner then 1.2 behind Destroyer Jack. Jack seems to have a little bit more pace on these intermediates than the full wet conditions. Or full wet tyres rather. Back on with Boy Knockout. May just drop back towards EM. Have a look to see whether he's going to make a move. He might go for it. He's been making some moves, and he makes it again here through into turns 4 and 5. But again, Mr. Potwash tries to get the switch back on him, and he does get it done. Mr. Potwash makes it happen, and is back ahead of EM into the top 12. Let's go back up the field once more to Boy Knockout. Behind the pairing of Viking and Epic Frenchie. Destroyer Jack also looking to close it on Salty Stevens, although he does lose a bit of time, which could very well give an opening to Warner here. Boy Knockout, however, I am potentially going to move, as Boy Knockout does now get through an epic Frenchie. EM with a time penalty. Going to keep a close watch of the timings, but there you go, the move has been done here. We're going to go up towards Warner though. Looking super quick. All over Destroyer Jack now. And one mistake from Jack has let Warner in. Moves being made from the back. Viking is into the pit. Now going to go for the inters, but Warner here. Is he going to go for the move on Destroyer Jack? No, he is not. He knows he's quick at the moment, and he knows he can get a move done. And once he gets ahead of these two, he's into the top 4. Jack's got a penalty. Warner could be on for a podium here. He's going to go round the outside and Destroyer Jack as he make it the inside line into turns 4 and 5. Has he got it done here, Warner? No, he's going to stay behind. The Jack, oh, big contact! Contact between Warner and Destroyer Jack. And that is going to be their races. Almost ended there. Warner and Destroyer Jack come together here at Monza. Absolute chaos between the pairing, and they will be very frustrated at that incident. And that would have been lap 13, turns 4 and 5 for those two drivers. But wow, yeah, Warner not... I mean, Warner and Jack, I mean, that'll be one for the stewards, that's for sure. Didn't quite get a great look on the view to see who actually was fully at fault. I would have said it was probably most likely going to be Warner, being the car behind, but again, didn't get a full view of it at the time because Jack's car was just appearing at the last minute. Mr. Potwash, meanwhile, going for the move on Destroyer Jack. You guys probably would have had a clearer picture on it, though. But yeah, Mr. Potwash now up into the top 10, a move being made. The two kick Saubers trading places. So Silky Stevens ahead of Jack. And now can Silky charge towards Gandalf, who has absolutely dominated this race since taking the lead on the first lap of the Grand Prix. I mean, Gandalf, nobody has been able to challenge his success and his pace here tonight. But can the kick Saubers do anything about it? Or what about maybe a safety car? If we had a safety car, that could do something. Yeah, a lot of comments coming through there. Thank you, Deck. I probably wouldn't agree, but thank you anyways. Yeah, oh no. Oh no says... oh yeah, oh no says James. I thought that was Jack for a moment. I'm like, hang on, you're racing, mate. How are you saying that? Let's go further drift and have a look towards Destroyer Jack. He wants to take some places back, don't forget. Now he's got Mr. Potwash. I mean, he's still shown decent pace, Destroyer Jack, but Warner obviously was looking the quicker driver at that time. Bit of wing damage might not be the end of the world. Let's have a look. Yeah, because one of them, I think that would have been Warner that has damage, right? So obviously he's not going to be the quickest driver on track now, especially in these conditions where you do want to have a front wing. That's for sure. Right, here comes Destroyer Jack, and he does go round the outside on Mr. Potwash. Potwash drops in, and Jack now up into the top 10. Let's go back up then towards the two kick Saubers. Still got Silky ahead of Jack, and the gap is coming down just 1.1 seconds. So remember when the gap was coming down just as they were about to pit for the intermediates? The same thing has happened again now. Back down to just over 1 second. It's good to see Haas performing, says Deck. See Lady Luck still loves the Haas. Oh yeah, P17 Viking. Speaking of which, he's making a move now on Iceman up into P16. It's Haas v Aston Martin, alright? They are certainly battling. If you reverse the table, then you've got Haas v Aston Martin for the win. Yeah, obviously, depending on how you look at things. Right, EM and Rotti. They are going to go side by side. EM. Oh, a slide there from Rotti. And he might... How has he avoided a penalty there? I have no idea. Oh, hang on, something else has happened. Rotti again, and EM's lost out. Diddy Fend, out of nowhere, gets the pair of them. Diddy's up into P13 now, ahead of EM and Rotti. Amazing. Both of them making a mistake, and that allows DD straight back through. And what about Mickey now? Closing in on Mr. Potwash. And oh, what's happened? It's Jack! Destroyer Jack's made a mistake there. And all of a sudden, Mr. Potwash and Mickey is on the fringes of the top 10. Don't forget, he's on fresher intermediate tyres as well. Oh, we'll get the tyres moved away. The stop's there for you. ARC Mickey then. Can you have a move here on Mr. Potwash? Might be a blessing to have a less front wing around Monza. Possibly. I mean, I know obviously you can go quicker down the straights, but at the same time, you probably want that for the corners as well. ARC Mickey then going down the inside on Mr. Potwash, and he does get it done. Viking Fox, though, is the quickest driver on track right now, into the 28s on his lap times. But yeah, Mickey finally up into the top 10. DD Friend, Rotti, EM, these guys are loving each other. Viking Fox may love them even more. He gets through on Rotti. Can he bypass EM and DD Friend on lap 16, however? Again, the quickest driver on track at the moment. You could see just how much more grip he has on EM. Going down the inside of EM and making the move on EM. What about DD? DD's gone off and Viking is into the P13. I did say he could make the move on lap 16 on both of them. I didn't expect it to happen that quickly. DD Friend loses out also to Rotti and Iceman 86 enters the battle. But Viking Fox effectively making 3, possibly even 4 moves there. He obviously would have got past Iceman as well. Iceman 86, however, now having a look. Oh my goodness gracious. As he does get through on DD Friend, the 2 former Tier 3 drivers racing. P16 now for Iceman 86 ahead of DD Friend. But wow. Let's head back up then to... Oh, nope, never mind. I'm going to go drop back down because DD Friend still sticking with Iceman here. Jesus, says Doug. Not sure Jesus can help with that one. Yellow flags, meanwhile, looks like a Haas in trouble. Could have been possibly Woody, rather. As DD Friend opting for a pit stop, but that's going to be too quick. And that will be a 10-second time penalty. Let's go back up the field with Angry Badger. He's in P7. I don't know how, but he's in P7. He's putting in an incredible performance here tonight, Angry Badger. Reminds me of how Mr. Potwash was doing through the back end of last season. Obviously, both of those were at Ferrari as well. Badger and Potwash. Where's Potwash at the moment? P11. I mean, he's still doing decent. But Badger, out of nowhere, into P7. How many places he gained this race? 4 places. Epic Frenchie still up 11. So obviously Epic Frenchie still impressing, but not making any more moves there. The 2 kick Saubers still sticking comfortably with Gandalf. 1.6 seconds between that trio. As Angry Badger just losing time there on his battle with Epic Frenchie then, and losing out. So we're on lap 18 of 27 now. Gandalf 1 second barely to Silky Stevens. We might just head up to see these 3 together. Gandalf, Silky and Jack. Don't forget Jack still has that 10-second penalty. As it stands, it would only drop him down behind Salty and Boy Knockout, so not the worst thing. Down to P5 at the moment for Jack. If there's a safety car, of course, he can serve that 10-second penalty as well. Yeah, we'll show the tyres. There you go. Oh, Woody's opting for the medium tyres. I'm not so sure about that myself. Obviously, it's still raining as well. Rotti's also into the pits. Don't tell me. Don't tell me he's going to do it. He's going to go for the dries, is he? No. Looks like the inters. Looks green to me. That looks like the intermediates are going back on for Rotti. Not really sure. I mean, serving a 10-second penalty, I've got to say I'm not really sure this is the best strategy from Rotti. Back onto intermediates when it looks like it's drying out a little bit. And as you can see, it very much looks like the rain has stopped here. So we will be going for dry tyres, it looks like, near the end of this Grand Prix, which will be exciting because DRS would also be enabled. This looks good. Let's see there what can happen. Boy Knockout and Salty Stevens. Boy Knockout into 4th now. So Salty Stevens not quite able to fight there as he does slip out of the Parabolica as well. Is he about to pit or not? Surely not. It's too early for the dry tyres still. I know Woody's on them, but he's losing a lot of time to Rotti as well. EM 3-second time penalty. Should have done a few tweaks to the setup to make it more competitive. Why has he done that? Says Pesci, don't show tyres, says Doug. Yeah, maybe if you're Mercedes, don't show tyres, right? Or if you're Haas. If you're Haas as well, don't show tyres. Right, Gandalf, Silky, Jack. That's your top 3. Who will come away with the victory here? We're going to go towards Angry Badger. He's battling with Wavner behind him. Don't forget, Wavner has been very, very quick this Grand Prix. Obviously, he had that incident with Destroyer Jack, however, which which could very well incur a penalty to Warner, who does have that wing damage as well on the right side of the end plate. So behind Badger, behind Frenchy. Definitely wants to get through on both, but he's going to get through on one because Angry Badger makes a twitch, and that allows for Warner to go up to P7 now. So straight away, he is on the rear of Epic Frenchy. And that was not exactly an epic move there by Angry Badger, it's fair to say. What happened to your... Oh, your dad. So I was thinking your dad. More worried about kick. I'm not going to mention a word, but the has is the word, you know, so yeah. Let's see, so yeah, Woody, P19, Kick Salbus, well P2 and P3, obviously they are doing well with Salty Stevens there, but Warner does make his way through on Epic Frenchy, and now he's up into the top 6. He still continues to showcase his pace, although he does struggle through into the Parabolica, gives Epic Frenchy another chance, and even Angry Badger, whoever watched on board with Badger here, with Frenchy on the inside, Warner on the outside, and Epic Frenchy goes a little bit deeper, stays ahead, and he does retain P6. Into the pits goes Pop Wilson, into the pits goes Destroyer Jack. Are they thinking it's time for the dry tyres to commence this Grand Prix? Don't forget Woody's been on his for a few laps now. Is he gaining any time? It's hovering at 20.5 seconds. Okay, I say that, he's massively lost time now. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's ready for the dry tyre still, but it's not too far. Okay. It's not too far away, but it's not dry tyres right now. And you may very well say that intermediates to the end could even be the way to go here. Because you've got to make sure, if you're going to pit, you've got to regain all that lap time. Warner, Epic Frenchy, almost happened ahead. Something has occurred ahead. Woody, on those medium tyres, don't forget Woody, being lapped by a number of cars now. But Warner, and what's this? Epic Frenchy going for a swim almost. Angry Badger, though, will hope to get back through on him if he can. But yeah, Warner's got past both of them at least. So he'll be hoping to charge towards his teammate in this race. Could be smarter even for Salty Stevens to say, Warner, you can finish ahead to get your penalty off. Because he may very well get a penalty at the end of the race. Warner, obviously. So if they were smart at Williams, they could say, we're going to switch places. There are more yellow flags. It looks like those on the dry tyres are struggling so much here. And there are yellow flags. Let's see. It looks like possibly an Aston Martin. Might be Dutch Beast. It is Dutch Beast. Oh, it's a virtual safety car. It's the first form of safety car in this race. It's a virtual. Now, what do you do? Do you go for dry tyres right now or not? Obviously, a few drivers are on dry tyres, but it's not looking particularly quick here. Mr. Potwash does decide to stay out. I mean, it will get to the point where dry tyres are going to be quicker. It's not too far away, but a steady friend is going to get rid of its intermediate. So what does Gandalf do? That's the next question, though. I mean, the virtual safety car will be ending pretty soon, I'm sure. So Gandalf may not even have a chance to pit, and he needs to make sure he's within the delta. Do not exceed that delta, otherwise your race. Badger receives a penalty with Epic Frenchy. That's for P7 and P8. That's a 10-second penalty. That's a hefty penalty here. Gandalf does continue. None of them pitting, it seems. Jack's pitting. Don't forget, Jack is going to be able to serve his 10-second penalty as well. So he will make it an exciting ending for him. And that 10 seconds will drop him behind Boy Knockout as well, in terms of net positions. But we'll see, does everybody opt to pit in this race? Let's go back towards Epic Frenchy, and don't forget Badger recently went into him. Or, for whatever reason, of course. We're not going to say who was at fault, because we didn't see it. So we can't blame somebody when you can't see it. Epic Frenchy and EM has a 10-second time penalty. Still 19 drivers left in the race. Nobody yet retiring. I thought for a moment EM may have retired, but he's actually decided not to, which is very much fair play. Again, obviously, everybody will score points. EM actually has now left the session, so obviously he'll need an invite back in. Hazer, you know what to do. Tell your mate. Willie Fernandez, 10-second penalty for corner cutting. Looks like he's gone straight on at turn 1. He's also gone for fresh inters. Fresh inters for Willie Fernandez. I don't think that's the wisest of calls there. And Wobbener is ahead of Salty Stevens meanwhile. I missed that completely. But Wobbener is ahead of his teammate and up into P4. It's almost like Williams were listening to me all along. They've actually switched the drivers around. I mean, I do imagine that was probably unintentional. But either way, Razor say on it. Silky Stevens, 10-second time penalty. And he is now into the pits. And it looks like Kick Sauber. Well, Jack got a 10-second penalty earlier on, don't forget. And now his teammate has a 10-second penalty. And can't even serve it now. So Gandalf is surely going to win your opening race of the season. I mean, there is no reason why Gandalf does not go on to win this Grand Prix. If he doesn't win, many people will say this could be a bottle job, but he's going to win. He's going to win. He's got to win. There's no way he can't win this. Gandalf, it has been looking very comfortable throughout this race, and is going to get what he deserves, and that is a race win. Right? You'd imagine so. Gap to the leader, well, yeah, I mean, he's very far clear, isn't he? Tyre situation, gap to the leader. Fingers loads on dry tyres. You could have said maybe Silky has a chance, but he doesn't because he's got a penalty. Jack doesn't have a chance. Salty's too far away. I mean, Gandalf could very much pit now if he wanted to, and I'm sure he'd still probably win. But that'll be interesting. Does he pit or not? He is staying out, so he's a little bit of a risk. Either way, it would have been a risk. Inters to the end now. Track hasn't dried up enough. Yeah, I pretty much agree. Boy Knockout disagrees. He is going into the pits. Warrener. Warrener is also pitting and gets a 10-second penalty. It's 10 seconds galore here. Everybody loving a 10-second penalty. I think Gandalf will be happy with that, but now Gandalf may feel his closest rival is this man here, Boy Knockout, exiting the pits. We've got, what, 4 laps of racing to go? Gandalf just here out of turns 4 and 5, now heading through into the curved the Lesmos at turns 6 and 7. Boy Knockout just ahead of Silky Stevens. These two could possibly work together, maybe not. Silky Stevens is absolutely nowhere after turns 1 and 2. Maybe they're not going to work together. Don't know, it still looks a little bit damp on the track though. It's the issue. Jack meanwhile, Jack and Willie Fernandez, Warrener rather, coming together there. Jack just about ahead. Willie Fernandez up into P6 out of nowhere. Looking good for him. It might still be like intermediates almost. I mean, it's not really got down to dry tyre conditions. How is it so hard to slow down, says Hazer. I don't know, ask the drivers. Look, Williams still gaining time on soft tyre runners. Gandalf is pitting now. Is it really needed to pit? I mean, you may feel, you know what, I've got a 34.5 second gap. I might as well pit now. Maybe he was just waiting for Boy Knockout and, Warrener to pit. And he feels, yeah, you know what, I might as well do it. Because look how far ahead he is now. Destroyer Jack 28-0, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. But Gandalf out of the pits. He's actually come out directly behind his teammate Destroyer Jack. The thing is it still winters or is it drier tyres? I mean, it's getting close between the pairing. Gandalf did look very strong there to turns 1 and 2, I cannot lie. But the gap now between Gandalf and Boy Knockout is 10 seconds. So that's pretty much that done. Salty Stevens gets through an epic Frenchie. Up into the top 7 now. And Warrener behind Jack. That's over P4 and P5. I mean, these two, don't forget they were in Tier 3 for a fair bit last season. And they are looking very, very quick tonight. Warrener looks set to receive a penalty, of course, or likely. I'm not going to say guaranteed. Okay, I'm not going to say that. That would be unfair. But yeah, Warrener could receive a penalty. I think that's the right way to put it. Jack, meanwhile, 4th place, has that penalty as well. We go penalty situation. 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10. 10 seconds. Like William even got one. So Silky, Jack, Warner, and William, and also Angry Badger all received a 10-second time penalty, as Woody receives a 3 seconds to double his tally to 6 seconds. Still Inter, still got puddles on the track. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think Gandalf still looks pretty comfortable, even though I think he looks alright now, to be fair. It's probably just about getting to that stage where dry tyres can be useful. I mean, Gandalf is on the Inters. Boy knockout, a 3-second penalty, so he's not going to be in contention for the win. Woody Fernandez and Warner. And Woody Fernandez gets a great... Oh, look at this! Williams has got through with Warner. Williams into the top 5. Okay, he still has that penalty. But Woody Fernandez, now under a bit of pressure from Warner, but it does not look like Warner's close enough to make a move. The intermediates are still working here. I mean, looking at the tyre situation, there you go. You've got Gandalf, William, EM, Destroyer Jack and Woody all on Inters. Everybody expected it to dry out, or dry up rather, for the dry tyres. Well, it's clearly not worked like that. And it is still going to be the the intermediates rather. Incredible stuff here. Can EM get an invite? I could try and quickly do it. If I find him, you'd have to invite through EA. There you go. Right, let's see then. As Warner goes a little bit wide as well, and William all of a sudden is in prime position. Yellow flags for Dutch Beast. Silky Stevens, 3-second penalty, and that won't really impact him by the looks of things. William and Jack defends it hard, really hard. Does get back here, but now William all of a sudden is going to re-overtake. Is DRS enabled yet? I don't think DRS has been enabled, has it? Oh! Jack's got back through onto William. DRS hasn't been enabled. Well, I'm going to find out here. It looks like Jack has got back through. I wonder if William had an illegal overtake potentially. But let's see. All of a sudden, does he have DRS? No. So there's no DRS here for Woody Fernandez. Dart Beast 10-second penalty. And this is a legitimate battle between Jack, William and Warner, but it's not going to be a legitimate battle for P4. Silky Stevens looks like he's just about going to manage a podium, although Salty is not too far away from beating his own brother. Gandalf is an absolute postcode clear and will go on to win, but can William take this place away from Jack? This trio were battling in Tier 3 last season, and they have met each other again. We will be going away to Gandalf very, very soon, but can William take this place from the Kick Sauber? It doesn't look like it's going to happen just now. Still no DRS, meaning William is going to have to do it on the track. He's going to burn the battery. He is going to burn the battery, but we are going to have to move away in just a moment. And it looks like William, is he going to get the move done? Gandalf comes away with the race win there, but let's quickly go back. William gets through. He does get through onto Jack. And now up into the top 4. And what can Warner do? Absolutely nothing, it seems. Jack has lost out to William. And it looks like Gandalf P1, Boy Knockout P2. Will Silky hold on to that P3? I think he will. And Willie Fernandez will come through ahead of both Jack and Warner. It's going to be close between these two, but Jack will hold on ahead of Warner. Now we're going to see the penalties take effect. Salty P4, Mickey up into P5, Epic Frenchie with an excellent drive. But where will he come through? It's P7 for Frenchie. He is behind Willie Fernandez. That's how close it was. William P6. Frenchie P7, Jack P8, Warner P9, Viking Fox into the top 10. Mr. Potwash will be next in P11 for the V-Carb. But wow, some battling there. But Gandalf has truly dominated this race. I mean, nobody could get close to Gandalf here. And there you go, Potwash and his Angry Badger through into P12. Iceman 86 on his first Tier 2 race, and he comes through to P13. Oh no, P12 rather. Badger drops a place, and EM will also drop behind Destroyer Jack. And Destroyer Jack will take P14. EM will take P15, and that is your race done here tonight. And it is going to be victory for Gandalf. Wow. Gandalf Masterclass, indeed it is. Gandalf could probably have gone hard. Probably, yeah. Back-to-back rain-affected races indeed. And our Tier 3 tomorrow night is going to be pouring down with rain as well. Obviously, we don't know. But it should really, shouldn't it? Just to make it the treble. But yes, very much fair play to the drivers. Putting on a good show. Very tricky conditions out there, of course. But Gandalf proving his worth once again in Tier 2. Willie Fernandez, are you watching? You've dropped your driver, and he goes on to win the Italian Grand Prix. Not the best for Willie Fernandez, hey? He must be looking at his race thinking, what have I just done? Gandalf's going to be like, ha, told you so. Bet he's thinking that. Either way, Gandalf does come through and takes the victory at the Italian Grand Prix. Boy knockout in P2 and a podium for Silky Stevens ahead of his brother Salty, who lands a P4. ARC Mickey in 5th place from Willie Fernandez, who still comes home with a very strong P6. Epic Frenchie started in P17 and finishes in P7. Jack in P8, started in P10. Warner drops to P9, may get a penalty yet. Viking Fox also in the top 10. Potwash P11, Iceman P12, Badger P13, Jack P14 from EM, Rotti, DD Friend, Woody and Dutch Beast. Every driver finishing the race, all 19. In terms of, do I have to name a driver of the day? I think Woody was doing that yesterday. Let's think. I mean, in terms of the finishing positions, you would probably say Mickey would be deserving. Frenchie did really well, and William did really well. I think those are your 3 contenders, or you could say Gandalf, who absolutely dominated the race. It's a good question, actually. Who could be the driver of the day for that race? Probably one of those 4. It's either Gandalf for his dominant drive, or either Mickey, Frenchie, or William. Epic Frenchie had a great start to that race. He gained 10 places on lap 1. Absolutely remarkable from him. And he held it down as well. He's not the quickest Tier 2 driver, but he held down his position. Mickey came through the field and got P5. Started, I'm thinking, P15 or somewhere around P15 he started. I'm honestly thinking that I would probably pick Epic Frenchie. Again, he's not the quickest Tier 2 driver, but he always seems to pick up a good result. Very consistent driver. Like even last season, he was non-stop top 10 finishes in those 5 or 6 races he did. And he always qualified outside the top 10, pretty much. So, and he's done it again. I think Epic Frenchie for me. If you're looking for a good driver, I think McLaren have picked very strongly there with Epic Frenchie. He's probably not going to get you wins. He might not get you podiums, but he's going to get you consistency, and he will get you top 10 finishes. I'll send a link in, Kristen Taylor. Just give me 2 seconds. Invite, copy link. There you go. Yeah, if you want to rejoin, or if you're new, of course, and want to join UFRL in a TikTok, I have just posted in the Discord. But that was your Italian Grand Prix again. Congratulations to Gandalf on that victory. A fantastic drive by him. Very tricky conditions again. So he done really, really well there to get that job done. Let's see. Does anybody want an interview or not? Oh, I've just seen. Sorry to EM on not sending the invites quickly enough. I don't have the lounge open during my stream, so it's a little bit difficult to get through onto that. And obviously commentating on a race as well, not easy to do. Yeah, obviously any instance, feel free to post them. Well, I could put, yeah, so that's all good. Doesn't look like anybody's in the interview room at the moment. I mean, Gandalf got the win. It'd be interesting to see what he thought of the race. Then again, he probably didn't have to think much about the race. I mean, what, did he even race? Looked like he just done a Sunday drive there to take that victory, didn't he? Incredible. Reminds me of the old Tier 1 days when you had what was the name? You had Thick Daddy, you had JT Galato. You've obviously had Hazer had strong races. You've had Pesci having strong races. Multiple drivers have been incredibly strong throughout the seasons in Tier 1. You don't tend to get dominant drivers in Tier 2, but I will say, parkour, I think at Japan last season, I think that was the most dominant drive I've seen from anyone in a long while. I don't even think I did comms on. Did I do comms on that race? I don't think I did. But Japan from parkour was absolutely dominant in that Grand Prix. I think that's the most dominant I've seen from a Tier 2 driver in a long time. It does look like we have got one of our drivers in, so therefore let's go to this screen. But yeah, back-to-back rain affected races. That's also crazy though, because obviously if you haven't seen Tier 1, it is live across our Twitch and also on our YouTube channel as well. So if you do want to have a watch of it, you can watch on either the Twitch or the YouTube. It was a Tier 1 race last night for our Season 9 opener, and it was held at Austria. That was very similar to tonight. It did start full wets, and I mean proper full wet, like wow, hammering it down. It did go to intermediates. It never got dry though, so it never got dry to the point of tonight where it was almost between dries and inters, probably more inters. Let's not forget my race at Monaco, season 6. Monaco, season 6. Such a long time ago for me. I mean, I did win a title in season 6 in Tier 2, but crikey, trying to remember. That's a year ago as well, Hazer, don't forget. A year ago, wow. That's mental to think season 6 was a year ago, though. I mean, season 7 obviously was a start of the game. Season 8 we've only just completed, and season 9 obviously now. So we've done 3 seasons through this game. And that's been about a year. I mean, I say about a year. What, about 9 months? Because obviously the game came out late May. And the season would have started in, what, June? Mid-June, I would say. Wow. But yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said though, you, Pesci, and obviously before that we've had other drivers such as JT Calato, Thick Daddy, these types of drivers who have had dominant drivers. I think when Matthew Bassett was here as well, he did some races. He was absolutely dominant at times. Yeah, you've had some very, very quick drivers in. Um, I almost wouldn't want to see you and Pesci, and like even Bird, you, Pesci, the Bird, Deck, very quick as well. Imagine like these drivers, no disrespect to any of you, because obviously I'm not comparable with you guys. You are very quick. But if you came up against people like Matthew Bassett, JT Galato, Thick Daddy, you all would struggle a lot. They are just that quick. That was my prime. Hope to eclipse that this season. Yeah, I think especially after last season though, especially after last season, you'll be hoping to get back to your best. And to be fair, you've got a very suitable teammate, I would say now. You and Pesci, I think, are going to work well together. So that's just my opinion, maybe, but yeah, I would expect you and Pesci to both do well this season. But it would be interesting. What would happen if it went down to the final race of the season and you both had a very strong chance at the title? Then I'd be interested as to what would happen. But yeah, I think you two both have a good chance at delivering. But obviously, you're probably looking at Bird and Deck as two of your main title contenders for the season. Right, we're going to head into the chat. We're just going to also make sure that we can actually be heard once we get in there. Where is the chat? Right, the interview room is there. Right, give me a second. I'm just going to make sure you'll be able to hear him at least. Right, that's on. Right then, so we are now in, and we will just check. Good evening, Gandalf.
Hello, good evening.
Right, let's just see. Did that actually go through? Could you just talk again, mate?
You alright, mate? Hello.
That did work. That did
Testing.
work. Brilliant. Right. So yeah, testing. So let's obviously start off because through the race you were dominant. But let's start off with that qualifying session. Up the field, it was a pretty crazy start though in that race.
Yeah. The race was. I knew it'd be hectic. It's turn one into it, so I just sort of backed off, let everyone do their thing, and then just try and crack on from there. Really.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much carnage happening. I mean, I think Epic Frenchy gained 10 places from the start. He was like P17 and got himself up to P7. Like, insane.
I don't know who it was, but someone on the left just flew past me and carried on going. I think.
might have been Frenchy. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, like, I think I think Beast and a couple of others did go straight on at turn one. I think there might have been a bit of contact in one of them as well. So
Yeah, I'll have to look at
yeah,
that. But, yeah.
yeah, pretty mental at that start. And then after the start, you got yourself into the lead, and then it's pretty much if it looked comfortable, was it as comfortable as it looked?
No, because I had the two stakes behind me. So,
Mm,
like, if it was like different teams, I'd be like sort of anticipating a battle between the two.
mm,
But it just kept gaining like slowly. It was like a tenth every lap, roughly. I probably like something like that. And then I made it like I kept that the 1 second cushion. I know it's like wet, but there's no DRS anyway. But just mentally, it's just the 1 second cushion's always nice for any mistakes and stuff. But yeah, it was just one of those, and then. I think it was lap 7 a box for Inters. Drac made the call, so it was a lot quicker. So uh, switched to Inters and yeah, just kept the gap really.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, in terms of that pit stop though, because just before it, you were being caught very quickly by the two kicks. And I was there thinking, well, what's going to happen here? Because they're going to try and overtake you. But then you decide to put into the pit straight away, pretty much.
Yeah. I had Drac shouting at me to pit. so, so it was a good call really. It saved me the position and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a good call because even on the stream I was seeing that Jack was actually gaining time at that
Yeah.
moment, so it made perfect sense. Then you regained that time, and then all of a sudden again, once two kicks Albers were pitting, they were coming back at you a little bit more again.
Yeah, they were on my tail for majority of that race. I think it was like so towards the end, the last several laps, I think I just started pulling away. I don't know if they made mistakes because tyre wear was starting to become an issue towards the end. I was on like 65% with like 4 laps to go, which is why I decided just to pit for Inters.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, tyre wear was I was sliding a bit, so I imagine they were too, and yeah, a bit more deg than me maybe. I don't know, but I started to gain a bit more time in the last like handful of laps really. Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. I want to ask a question as well because obviously the last two seasons you've been racing for a certain Mercedes. Do you have any
Yeah.
words to Willie Fernandez after your victory?
I mean, I've already told him I'm gonna win tier two. So so um so yeah, I'll make him regret not picking me. But no, I'm pleased to be Alpine. It's changed, so
Mm,
more motivation and stuff. So but yeah, I learned a lot at Mercedes, which I put into that race. So I don't know if Mr. P will really be pleased about that, but yeah, it was fun.
one team's loss is another team's gain at the end of the day, and Alpine have obviously
Yeah,
gained.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, good stuff, though, mate. Honestly, and again, obviously, you're going to go for the title for the third time, and I think you might have a stronger chance than what you have had, especially like last season where you came up against Flynn, and that was always going to be very tough. So I think you've got a
Yeah,
better chance now.
yeah. I mean, there's still obviously there's fast drivers in this tier. There's quite a few. There's probably like,
Mm,
I can come anywhere between like in the top 10, and
yeah,
everyone who's like beat me or whatever, it's like fully deserves to, because they're just so fast, and it's obviously
mm,
track dependent as well. Like I think this is my third win at Monza now on 3 races, so
wow.
it's obviously a strong track for me. So I'm not expecting it every week. Um, but yeah, it's one of those. The other tracks play out really. It's Bahrain next week, which I'm not looking forward to. So
Oh no, okay. Maybe not
yeah,
expecting you to be on the top step of the podium
yeah,
there, then.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, again, great stuff, though, mate. And we'll see if you can fight for that title. I'm sure you will. And, hopefully, obviously for your sake, hopefully you win it. But we'll see, mate. But yeah,
yeah.
good stuff
Well,
tonight, mate.
that's the aim. But as long as I get some good racing, then that's all that matters really.
Very true, very true. But yeah, fantastic race tonight and well-deserved
Cheers,
victory.
mate. Cheers for the comms.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
And there you go. So that was your race winner tonight. An excellent drive by Gandalf. Runner-up season 7, runner-up season 8. Willie finally come home with the championship in season 9. An excellent, excellent drive from him. He will always bleed silver, says Mr. Poem. Interesting, but yeah, had to ask the question just because obviously he has effectively made the move, although obviously it wasn't his decision. But it could be a great decision. If he ends up winning that title, maybe Mercedes was a bad move for him in the first place. So who knows? But yeah, for tonight, that was Gandalf. Again, very strong, It looked comfortable. It wouldn't have been as comfortable, especially in those conditions. But a very, very strong drive. Right, let's have a look then. What do we have coming up for the remainder of this week? So, Tier 3 tomorrow night will be a return and it will be hosted by the Belgian Grand Prix for round 1 in Tier 3. That'll be tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. Friday night, 8 o'clock p.m. for the opening race of the 100% tier. Don't forget, equal cars as well for the first time, and that'll be held at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Saturday night, international tier, 9 o'clock p.m., and that'll be a mystery track. So I think I'll be doing the wheel for that one as well, just before the race. So yeah, mystery track for the international tier, 9 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. Then next week, next Monday for Tier 1 will be held at Las Vegas. So there we go, heading to the United States. And Tier 2 next Tuesday night. More importantly, of course, for those watching and those racing tonight, we'll be heading to, as where Gandalf just said, the Bahrain International Circuit. So that'll be your race for next Tuesday in Tier 2. Yeah, yeah, damn right, Mr. Poem, damn right. Yeah, for tonight though, great stuff from Tier 2. I hope you've all enjoyed the race, and I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of the season. And then, obviously, after that, looking forward to the new game. But for tonight, we have been UFRL. I have been UFRL F1 Viva. Thank you for watching, and good night.